Hello, everybody. What's going on? And welcome to another episode of Jaguar. Jibberish. It's your dog, your man, Marshall Best, and alongside with Greg Castillo. What's going
What's
on,
going on, Jag Nation? We're in the building.
Jag Nation? We are here. Whew. Well, Jaguars, after last night, they took on had a great game going up against Trinity University, and which they won with a final score of 95-75. Really played a really good game. Um, Let me see if we had it up there. I thought we had it up there. Uh, had a really good game. Five guys scored in double figures. Paragon Hawkins, Bryson Barnett, which were two guys that, if they play the way they played last night, can really make the difference on this team. And then
Definitely. We can use all the offense we can get in this area of the court that kind of goes a little stagnant at times. So the more offensive players, the better.
and then we also had, of course, Amari Bailey, Nick Van, and Jaden Campos also scoring double figures. So when you have five guys scoring in double figures, you end up with 95 points.
Yeah, shots were falling, man. Shots were definitely falling. It was definitely a good sight to see.
Yeah. So overall, the guys played a really solid game. They started off in the first half, knocking down almost every single shot that they took. Defensively, the pressure was on. I mean, they just played probably the best half of basketball that I have seen them play
Definitely, there
this
was
season.
definitely agree. I mean, there was floor spacing, good spacing. People were cutting, getting easy buckets. Shots were falling. I mean, it looked it was kind of effortless flow that we had.
Yeah. And in the second half, they still kept it up, started to turn the ball over a little bit, got a little careless
Yeah.
with a couple of shots, but
I think at one point
overall,
it went down from like 20 points to maybe like a 10-point game.
yeah, it was like 10 or 12 points.
It was
So we
crazy.
think, because there was a little,
Discrepancies, some shenanigans going on.
yeah, definitely. So that was interesting to say the
Mhm.
least. But it was good to see the guys out there. Got a chance to play on a regular size court at Trinity. They played on their actual, big home gym, which normally we're playing on a little bit smaller. And it didn't seem like the guys were gassed or tired. They were getting up and down the floor pretty well.
Mhm.
Trinity themselves had really two guys. Maybe we can put three because that one dude did hit uh, deep, couple of deep threes.
Mhm.
That was towards the end of the game, but they really had two guys, number 10 and number 8, that were giving us problems. 10 had a pretty good post game.
Yeah.
And once number 8 figured, oh, I can kind of bully my way inside a little bit, he started taking off there. And we're just fortunate they didn't have a real good sharpshooter, because that could have spelled a little bit of trouble for us when they cut it down to about 12 points.
Yeah. I thought their ball handlers were kind of weak. The pressure that Van and Barnett put on them was able to just rattle them, but I just didn't think their ball handlers were that good. But it definitely, those two players gave us trouble, and I thought, um, particularly the big man, that's kind of an ongoing issue, is with Campos. He's going to have to be more physical. He's going to have to not get buried in the post, because as soon as you're a small player on a bigger guy, you've got to fight and be physical from the moment, and kind of not let him dictate his will on you. And so we've seen a couple of times in the tournament now that the big's able to get initial position on him, and then at that point you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to be cognizant of. He's going to have to be more aggressive, be more physical, And that's kind of like what you have to do as you're a small player. You look at someone like Draymond Green, who has to play center. Yeah, he has a wingspan that's freakish, that he's able to get away with it, but it's also a mentality. So it's that physical nature that he has. So it's definitely something that needs to be adopted, because we're gonna face some bigs
Yeah,
eventually.
definitely. I'm kind of going player by player. I would also like to see Jaden do a little bit more passing, especially on when he gets double teamed.
Mm.
He tries to take guys in off the dribble, gets doubled, and still tries to bully his way, force his way in there, and it doesn't work. He's getting lost as far as some of his movements. Ended up turning the ball over. I think he had about 3 or 4,
Mhm.
or at least 3 in a row. Where we're just kind of like, okay, let's get this thing back moving around again.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely
oh,
don't want to be going side to side. I think at any time in an offense, you want to keep that flow going. You don't want to, dribble side to side too many times. And there's at times, uh, Campos and some other people, but talking about Campos right now, he can go side to side a little too much for your liking. Just get the ball, either, figure out what move you're going to go to, be decisive, and if not, trust your teammates and move the ball.
right.
But decision making is something definitely he's going to have to improve too.
Absolutely. Um, Amari just knocking down his 3 pointers. Thought his powers might have been gone after he cut the golden locks. Thought he might have been like Samson, lost the strip.
Yeah, he hit some shots, man. It's just like every injury is every day. You just get worried about the injuries, right? It seems like
Mm-hmm.
everything he gets banged up, and he just is aggressive and he's athletic. He kind of and plays bigger than his size. He's gonna get banged up from time to time, but I mean, he's a very impactful player that can score, and, hitting a shot, get rebound, offensive putbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Transition's a big thing for him. So it just comes down to decision making. Also, sometimes he's so good in transition and he's left-handed, it makes it easy for him because people are not attempting it.
Right.
There are times where he can take on 2 guys and score, and then sometimes it's good, and then sometimes it's bad. So it's just discerning and picking your spots.
Right. And also, although he did knock down some big 3 pointers, which was good
Mhm.
down the stretch. Some of those shots in a closer game, he may not hit, and we are kind of like, I don't know about that particular shot. So if he's knocking down the shots, I have no problem. But if he's off,
Mhm.
that's when he's got to kind of make it a little bit easier for himself, get to the rim,
Mhm.
or get to that mid range pull up jumper that he is so good at doing.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen in games prior to this where things aren't falling for Bailey, Campos, and Hawkins, and it's like, okay, we need to figure out, okay, the shot's not falling, let's be aggressive, let's attack the paint, boom, let's get easy buckets. And it's just understanding that in that moment what's happening and not settling. So
Right.
it was that good, everything was going in for us last night, so it's not a problem. But we definitely seen where it hasn't gone in for us, and our offense
Mm-hmm.
has sputtered.
Yep. Hawkins put in a good performance, what he needed to do. Had a few assists, knocked down 2, 3 pointers in the beginning that really kind of pushed that lead up. And I said, okay, we're gonna have
Yeah,
a good game.
that's big
Uh,
that's big. I mean, him coming on offensively, I mean, he already did everything, so many things that equate to winning: leadership, rebounding. He was really aggressive defensively, and now you're seeing the offensive game catch up. He's hitting shots, driving the ball effectively, cutting. I mean, that's been a big uplift to the offense for sure.
yes, it was. Nick Van was back to the old Nick Van,
Hmm.
um, knocking down threes with confidence, driving whenever he wants to.
Hmm.
You know, he played fantastic last night, and then also getting pressure, getting steals. Like
Yeah,
he was on it. and boarding. Like when I'm looking at it, he's one of the, you know, I guess they only have a couple guards, but he's going up there and he's getting boards and he's snagging them over a couple of people too.
Yeah, he's definitely on the boards and he's been effective. And we've seen, when he's able to beat his man off the dribble or get into the lane and create for himself or create for others, our offense is pretty good. It's when, teams will go to a zone or they have good on-ball defenders that kind of stifle that dribble penetration. Then we become a perimeter-oriented team. And then it's iffy if you're going to hit shots.
Mm-hmm. He had one. Bryson Barnett, I was really proud to see him from the get-go be aggressive. That's what we asked. Like I said, if he can be aggressive, he can be that, kind of that sixth man, or if he starts, that fifth guy that we need and look confident taking the shots. First shot was a bank shot. We were like, oh, okay. And then he attacked the hoop, knocked down a deep three, and defensively just looked like he was just moving well. This is probably his best game of the season.
Or one of his. We loved his energy. We talked about it in the tournament. We loved it energy. We love the energy now. I mean, just being aggressive, playing team basketball, defensively, getting after ball handlers. And the big thing is when you're small, you're going to need these energetic, kind of athletic people to crash the boards. And maybe you don't get the board yourself. You've, deflect it in a certain way to your teammate, or you're just alter it enough where that guy right there underneath the basket doesn't get it and get an easy bucket. It's the little things, and that's something that Barnett has definitely found his niche for right now.
Right. It was good. They definitely need it. They definitely need it. Kind of between him and Hawkins, it takes off a lot of the pressure, from if a Jaden has a bad game, or if Amari happens to have a bad game, or if Nick has a bad game. The top three scorers on the team, those two guys can step up and help out. They're able to get some more rest, and then, if need be, save some of that for down the stretch of the game. So really great to see those two guys really get into it. Raul Saldivar Jr. hit a three defensively. He was getting on a couple of guys. That was good to see. He played, better defensively.
Definitely.
Was aggressive and seemed to get a little bit more involved in this game than I have seen him, in previous games. So that was good.
He usually plays a little more subdued, kind of like in the background. This game, he looked more active, looked more into the game. We saw him drive and kick.
Mm-hmm.
We were up.
Beautiful pass.
Yeah, beautiful pass. I think it was in the corner, left corner, right?
To Nick Van. Yep.
Yeah, it was a great pass, and he was going after loose balls. We were up 20 points, and he was going for loose balls, diving into, out of bounds and stuff. So definitely, everybody has to step on this team. If we're the ultimate goal is to win it all, every single person is important.
Yep. That's championship basketball right there. And then Uday, from the time that Uday was in, he looked like he's getting more confident. Would have liked to see him shoot a couple of those shots that he kind of had wide open and he passed up. And then there's a couple of times I thought he could have posted the guy up and taken him in. But it's just slowly and surely he'll get the confidence, coming. He essentially, he was maybe one of the last guys on the bench, not getting a whole hell of a lot of playing time, to now being, like a seventh man,
Yeah. Everybody's important. And when your number's called, you've got to produce, right? There's going to be times in crucial moments, someone gets in foul trouble, somebody gets injured, something happens where your number's called. And you've got to answer that. So,
yeah. So it was good. It was a collective performance outside of that second half, goal parts there. They played well. They played well and took care of their business. So we're going to take a quick break, and then we will have a look ahead. So we will be right back.
Bye.
Half the fun of going to college is getting involved. Here at A&M San Antonio, we have over 100 clubs and organizations just for you. So what are you waiting for?
Whether you're into academic clubs like the Biology Club or the American Marketing Association, or you just want to chill and take a fitness class, you can do all that here, right on campus. Want to get a little bit more involved? Check out the Student Government Association or expand your horizons with the Japanese Culture Club. You can also get active with rec sports and play table tennis, basketball, or sand volleyball. Okay, so you're not that athletic. You can show your school spirit by supporting Jaguar athletics. A&M San Antonio has competitive teams for esports, men's golf, softball, and men and women's soccer.
I love that there's something always going on campus, and you can find free food at all of these events. One of my favorite events is Festival de Cascarones. It's part of the city's fiesta celebration, and it's one huge party with bands, festival food like chicken on a stick, and a ton of games and stuff. There's also a new holiday tradition called Lights of Esperanza. It's pretty cool, and there are fireworks.
Alrighty, and we are back.
Let's go. Have you ever been to the Fiesta celebration there? You know?
I have not. I have not, man. I really do have to go check it.
And
really do have to go check it out. You know, when I was going there, right, I guess around the time they were going to, or a month before COVID hit, and that was my like second semester there, so I didn't get a chance to participate in that. But you know, hopefully one of these days, you know.
yeah, for sure, man. It look exciting. So I mean, everybody go check that out. If you're in the area or you go to school, go there, go check that out. It looks like tons of fun.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a lot of fun. So we're gonna have a look ahead.
Got a little schedule piece.
Let's see if I can get it on here. Maybe not. And show you guys the schedule. There's only a couple games left before playoffs start.
Okay.
Alrighty, let's see if we can get this on. Okay. So
Squad goals right there.
oops.
Oh.
Let's see if I can't get it on. Well, from what we have, that's a little odd with it.
Help.
Well, if I can do that, let me see if I can work this. All right.
Oh, let's go. Learning on
Here
the
we go.
fly.
So right now, the Jaguars will be going up against this coming up week. Incarnate Word, that'll be the 6th. And then we're going to see about the NERSA tournament, which would be the 8th through the 10th. That's the Nationals, which would be in Wichita, Kansas. Not sure if we're going to that one. So we're going to find out here. It is coming up. So we'll probably find out this week and figure out if we're going to be able to do that. And then the final game will be against Northwest Vista, which rings pretty close to home for Greg and myself.
Alumni.
And they
Johnson.
shout out. And they were in a close game yesterday and lost in a buzzer beater to Palo Alto. It was 90-88. So they have a little squad. It won't be easy by any means of the stretch.
Yeah, definitely saw that buzzer beater on social.
Mm-hmm. And then after that game should be the TSAC playoffs, which we will get into. I want to say that'll be either that weekend or the following weekend. So it's winding down, guys. It's winding down.
Yeah, we got the end right now. We got the end.
Mhm.
End game.
Yep, in game. So that's what we have left. Jaguars record overall. They are now 16-7 overall.
Okay.
So they had a good game. That's including all of the, the tournament games, College Station, UT Arlington, and those 2 or 3 games they played against Our Lady of the Lake, which definitely would love to play them again. If we were given the opportunity. I know we
Are
could
they
beat
the
those
full
guys.
press team?
Say it again.
Was it the full press team?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I would definitely like to see that game again.
Yeah, definitely want to see us. I know we can beat them.
Yeah, just about handling pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And then that full court press, not getting speed up, not
Right.
turnovers.
Right. We would definitely get those guys. So, but yeah, the year is winding down, man.
Yeah, man. Successful season, man. Really good, successful season. Coach has really rounded the foundation. I mean, shout out to Parabon Hawkins. He's done a lot, not only on the court but off the court. He put us in a situation to be successful. Obviously we're here trying to help lay the groundwork for the future years to come. So we're grateful for everything. We're grateful for everybody that's part of it, and everybody out there. Y'all are vital importance to this and growing as a community. So we really salute you and really appreciate all the love you'll give us.
Yeah, definitely do. And just as a side for myself, A&M San Antonio, and this team has really grown, because I remember the year I ended up playing in Northwest Vista back in 2018. They weren't really that good of a team. They were in a couple games here or there, but never anything imagined to going to regionals, have a possibility of going to nationals, going to a College Station tournament, playing Our Lady of the Lake, getting, all these different games and connections. And granted, through COVID and whatnot, they just found a way to really come together, work hard, from practicing outside into now practicing indoors, different places throughout the week, until they're able to have an actual gym. So, I mean, this program is just taking leaps and bounds from where I think anybody thought that they were going to be. So, that's thanks to, the team for putting in the work. There's a thanks to you guys as the fans, all the parents and whatnot that have put your time and, invested into the team, and, the other students and fans. We appreciate y'all. We do appreciate y'all a lot. And Greg and I enjoy doing this, man. This is fun for us. So,
love.
Yep. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of Jaguar Gibberish. As always, you can go check us out and follow us on Instagram at Tamusa MCB Ball. Go check that out. Do I like that one? Let me see something. I kind of like this one a little bit better. There we go. Follow us, Tamusa MCB Ball, on Instagram. As always, if you love the Spurs, you can also go check us out at Spurs versus Everybody, Twitter and Instagram. Greg and I always getting it on. And if you like all sports and you're like, man, I like to hear what these guys have to say over the stuff outside of San Antonio, like NFL, the Lakers, from NBA. See if we gonna talk about the Chiefs, the Steelers, whatever. Stats versus Facts Sports Talk is the place for you. Twitter, IG, SVF Sports Talk, on YouTube.
Definitely a little more untamed, uncensored.
Oh yeah, we get into it, man. So, well, appreciate everybody, and everybody stay safe, be well, and as always, go Jaguars.
The Jags. Well, there you go.
Something like that. Take care, everybody.